Welcome as we peel back the veil of time to uncover the eerie origins of Halloween. Our journey takes us back over 2,000 years to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. This time marked the end of the harvest season and the eve of a chilling winter. It was more than just the cold that sent shivers down the spines of the ancients. They believed Samhain was a time when the boundary between the living and the dead blurred. As the leaves fell and the world grew colder, the Celts thought that spirits of the departed could cross over into the world of the living. Fires were lit and offerings left out to appease these spectral visitors, a tradition that has echoes in the Halloween celebrations of today. As we venture deeper, the Christian influences on Halloween begin to emerge. From pagan rituals, we transition into the early Christian era. As Christianity spread across Europe, the Church sought to replace the Celtic festival of Samhain with religious holidays. The 1st of November was designated All Saints' Day, a time to honor all saints and martyrs. The day before, once the celebration of Samhain, became known as All Hallows' Eve, or Halloween as we call it today. But the Church didn't stop there. The 2nd of November was established as All Souls' Day, a day to pray for the souls that had not yet ascended to heaven. These attempts to Christianize the pagan festival were somewhat successful, but many of the ancient traditions persisted. Bonfires, costumes, and fortune-telling, all hallmarks of Samhain, continued to be a part of the celebration. The Church may have changed the name and the focus of the festival, but the essence of the Gaelic folk traditions lived on, shaping Halloween as we know it. The Gaelic folklore, rich with tales of spirits and fairies, has left an indelible mark on Halloween. This captivating culture, deeply rooted in the mysterious and the supernatural, has profoundly shaped the way we celebrate this chilling holiday. Diving into the heart of Gaelic folk traditions, we find a profound belief in supernatural beings. It was believed that on Samhain, the Gaelic festival marking the end of the harvest season, the veil between the human world and the spirit world was at its thinnest. This allowed spirits, fairies, and the souls of the dead to cross over and mingle with the living. To appease or scare away these spirits, folks would leave out food and drink as offerings, or wear disguises to blend in with the ethereal visitors. This practice, known as guising, is the clear predecessor to modern trick-or-treating. Instead of the candy we offer today, Gaelic children and the poor would go door to door offering prayers or songs in exchange for food or coins. They would often wear costumes or masks, a tradition that lives on in the vibrant and imaginative outfits we see every October 31st. Another Gaelic tradition that has survived the test of time is the carving of jack-o'-lanterns. Originally, turnips were hollowed out and carved with grotesque faces to ward off evil spirits. They were named after a fabled character, Stingy Jack, who tricked the devil and was doomed to roam the earth with only a hollowed-out turnip to light his way. When this tradition traveled to America, pumpkins were used instead, giving birth to the iconic Halloween symbol we know and love today. In the New World, Halloween underwent a transformation of its own. As the tradition of Halloween crossed the Atlantic, it found a new home in North America. It was here that the celebration began to shape and mold itself, absorbing the influences of the many cultures that call this continent home. In the early days, Halloween was a community-centric event. Many of the original settlers from Europe brought their customs with them, including the celebration of All Hallows' Eve. However, it wasn't until the 19th century, with the arrival of a large number of Irish immigrants during the potato famine, that Halloween began to take on its modern form. The Irish brought with them the tradition of going door to door asking for food or money, a precursor to what we now know as trick-or-treating. They also brought the tradition of carving turnips into lanterns, a custom that evolved into the carving of pumpkins, a fruit native to North America. As the celebration began to spread, it absorbed influences from other cultures. For instance, the Mexican holiday, Day of the Dead, contributed to the focus on honoring the deceased. Even Native American harvest celebrations played a role in shaping the autumnal festival. However, as the 20th century dawned, Halloween began to shift from a community-centric celebration to a more child-friendly event. The focus moved away from ghost stories and fortune-telling, turning instead to costume parties and candy collection. This was largely driven by an effort to curb the vandalism and pranks that had become associated with the holiday. By the mid-20th century, Halloween had become a major cultural event in North America, a blend of various traditions and cultures, all contributing to the unique celebration we know today. It's a testament to the power of cultural exchange and adaptation, a holiday that has managed to stay relevant even as it has changed and evolved over the centuries. But what symbols have come to represent this chilling holiday? Each Halloween symbol carries a tale as old as time. Let's start with the black cats. In the Middle Ages, they were believed to be witches' familiars, creatures that aided in their dark magic. Bats, on the other hand, are linked to Halloween due to an ancient Samhain ritual that involved lighting bonfires, which attracted insects, and consequently these nocturnal creatures. Then we have the witches, a symbol of Halloween that dates back to the pagan times. They were believed to gather twice a year, during the time when we now celebrate Halloween. The image of the witch has evolved over centuries, from a feared sorcerer to a popular costume choice. Let's delve into the fun-filled tradition of trick-or-treating and costumes. The heart of Halloween beats within the laughter and excitement of trick-or-treating. This beloved tradition, with its roots in medieval Europe, started as souling, where children and the poor would go door to door, offering prayers for the dead in exchange for soul cakes. Over time, this practice evolved. By the early 20th century, it had crossed the Atlantic and transformed into the trick-or-treat we know and love. Children clad in costumes would go from house to house asking for treats, with the implied threat of tricks if none were given. But why the costumes, you may wonder? Well, dressing up for Halloween has its own intriguing history. The Celts believed that on Samhain, the boundary between the living and the dead was blurred. They thought that the ghosts of the deceased returned to Earth and caused havoc by damaging crops and causing illness. So they would wear costumes, typically consisting of animal heads and skins, to confuse these spirits and prevent them from causing harm. Today, the costumes have become a lot more varied and imaginative. From superheroes to mythical creatures, from pop culture icons to classic monsters, Halloween costumes offer a chance to transform to embody something or someone else for a night. Halloween isn't all about the scares. Some historical games have added a playful twist. Historical games have brought a touch of mirth to the otherwise eerie Halloween night. From the chilly hills of ancient Britain to the bustling streets of modern America, these games have evolved and adapted, yet they hold on to their historical roots. One of the most enduring games is bobbing for apples. This game hails from a Roman festival honoring Pomona, the goddess of fruit trees. The Romans brought this game to Britain, where it merged with the local Samhain traditions. The game is simple. Apples are floated in a tub of water, and participants must retrieve them using only their mouths. Yet beyond the fun and laughter, bobbing for apples was, at its core, a game of divination, predicting future relationships and prosperity. Another popular game, especially among young women in the 19th century, was fortune-telling. This could take many forms, from peeling an apple in one continuous strip and throwing it over your shoulder, to see the initial of a future spouse, to hiding a ring in a cake, promising marriage within the year to the one who found it. These games, while perhaps less popular today, are an essential part of Halloween's history. They remind us of a time when the line between this world and the next was thought to blur, and the future could be glimpsed in the most mundane of tasks. Now, prepare yourself as we step into the realm of haunted attractions. Haunted attractions have become a spine-chilling staple of Halloween. What was once a simple tradition of sharing spooky tales around a fire has evolved into an industry of fear, designed to thrill and terrify. The rise of haunted houses dates back to the early 20th century, a time when make-believe spectres began to haunt our living rooms. These ghastly abodes were initially simple affairs, often created by parents for the amusement of neighborhood children. But as Halloween grew in popularity, so did the scale and sophistication of these haunted attractions. The humble haunted house expanded into sprawling haunted hayrides and intricate corn mazes, each more terrifying than the last. These attractions, designed to thrill and chill, have become an integral part of the Halloween experience. They bring to life our deepest fears and darkest nightmares, all in the name of good, clean, terrifying fun. Let's tune into the haunting melodies that set the Halloween mood. Music has a way of setting the tone for Halloween. It's a symphony of spooky sounds and melodies that send shivers down your spine. Classics like the chilling score from Hitchcock's Psycho or the eerie notes of Tubular Bells from The Exorcist are unforgettable. But let's not forget catchy tunes that get us in the Halloween spirit. Who can resist doing the Monster Mash, or moonwalking to Michael Jackson's Thriller. Music is the heartbeat of Halloween, amplifying our fears and our fun. Lastly, let's spotlight the undeniable impact of Hollywood on Halloween. Hollywood has a knack for amplifying the thrills and chills of Halloween. Its influence is undeniable, from iconic horror films that inspire costumes to nail-biting thrillers that set the tone for Halloween parties. Think of the countless villains and creatures of the night that have become Halloween staples, thanks to the silver screen. Even TV shows have left their mark, with characters and plot lines becoming integral parts of our Halloween traditions. So there you have it, the thrilling tale of Halloween's evolution, from ancient rituals to modern-day revelry.